Are you serious? Are you serious, folks? I'm doing a live broadcast right now. If you want to come to my website, do it right now, www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. We're live. Now, there's just been an 8.0, I repeat, 8.0 earthquake has just hit the Solomon Islands. Now, this is just less than 3 hours since the 6.5 earthquake hit off the coast of California in the Cascadia fault line, maybe a little tip of the San Andreas fault line, but certainly the Cascadia fault line, 106 miles off the coast of California, Ferndale, California, a 6.5. They first said it was 6.8. They downsized it to 6.5. Shallow 12-kilometer quake hit off coast of California. Now, it's like the earth just shifted. Here we go. We're going to start reeling and rocking, it looks like, because 8.0 has just hit the Solomon Islands. This is a mega quake. Also, the quake is only 40 kilometers deep. Not real shallow, but not real deep. This thing could certainly cause significant damage in the Solomon Islands and could release a massive tsunami. And I'm just wondering, because if you look on the map, it's, and there was a quake in between there. 2.9 just hit Hawaii before that hit in Solomon. So let me just put it to you in perspective. 6.5 California, 2.9 Hawaii, 8.0 Solomon Islands, just like that in a line. It's like the ocean wave, like the earth, and it wasn't a wave, it wasn't a tsunami, but maybe the earth just shook or tilted. And I'm just going to go on record. Last night I arrived in San Diego, California, and we're driving back to where my son's house here. We're staying at my son's house. And as we're driving, I look at the moon. I said, Heidi, what in the world kind of moon is that? It was a half moon, guys, but the moon wasn't shaped like a crescent moon. It was upside down. You had half the moon was showing on the bottom and the top was gone. Right down the middle half a moon with only the bottom showing. I've never seen, surely this has happened before, right? But I have never seen it before. And maybe I missed it every time it happened. Maybe it was too cloudy in Indiana and I never got to see it. Has there been a pole shift? Or am I just am I losing it? Are you losing it? So we named this show Earthquakes, Tsunamis, Tornadoes, Hurricanes, Fires. That's the title of this broadcast. We had a 6.5 earthquake in California. They've had a 5.0 aftershock since then. And it's like the whole earth shifted. 6.5 here, 2.9 Hawaii, 8.0 Solomon Islands. We're going to have to find out if there's damage or is there a tsunami alert out there. I want to welcome all of you, 1,100 of you that are watching on YouTube Live, and want to say God bless all of you out there. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. Come to my website right now and find out just where we're at with this thing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? These earthquakes that hit the Solomon Islands. Now we're getting reports there is some serious damage. Initial reports are suggesting that about 3,000 people have been affected by the earthquakes. It was a 7.8 that hit the Solomon Islands, and of course the aftershocks have been off the charts. Over 50 that are around 5.0 and higher, and they've also had a second quake of 6.5 and then a third quake of 6.9. So the last 3 days have just been pure hell on earth for the Solomon Islands. The good news is the tsunami alert was canceled, or it could have just been an apocalyptic situation. But I've looked at some of the pictures. The buildings are cracked. The foundations are crumbling. Some buildings have completely collapsed. The humanitarian agencies are telling us that the initial reports from the Solomon Islands suggest about 3,000 people have been affected. Their homes are either destroyed or unlivable. World Vision, a charity with staff in the island nation, said the quake damaged buildings, including homes, hospitals, churches. It's just, it's not the worst earthquake damage we've seen, of course, in history, but it's certainly very, very significant. I don't have any reports of loss of life. I mean, again, it's hard to get information out of these island nations because just communication is difficult. Power's out. It's hard to find out. But pray for the people of the Solomon Islands as they're going to have to work their way through this again. And they're used to that. They've had quakes before, and they'll have them again. The earthquakes continue, and the solar winds that we believe might be causing these earthquakes. Matter of fact, Dutch Sense has made a prediction that in the next few hours, or maybe the next couple days, he's expecting an earthquake, a major quake, to hit either Japan, Oklahoma, the Middle East, or I believe Europe, somewhere in Europe. But he's really focusing on Japan and Oklahoma and the Middle East, those three areas. So anyway, we'll see. He's been fairly successful in predicting earthquakes. Also, the solar winds, BP Earthwatch has been keeping a close eye on those. This is the third day in a row. I just checked. Right now, the solar winds are about, 629 kilometers per second. That is 3 consecutive days in a row that we've had solar winds twice the speed of normal that are sending earth-facing pressure on the earth, and that could be what's causing a lot of this activity that we see. So anyway, we'll keep a close eye on all this stuff. Keep praying one for another. Pray for the folks of the Solomon Islands, and we need this to calm down right now. All right, we're living in the last days. Give your life to Jesus Christ, because time is running out. I'll be back later with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. God bless. Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, NASA has just announced, scientists have just announced today, that a black hole ripped a star apart, creating the biggest blast ever seen in history. Now, they're saying that they saw this back in January. Scientists said they discovered this exploding star ending in a super luminous supernova that was almost inconceivably bright, more so than the output of the entire Milky Way. Now, new research shows the distant flare may have actually been the result of a rare cosmic collision. Even when news about the exploding star was announced, it didn't quite seem like your run-of-the-mill supernova explosion of a star at the end of its life. The explosion mechanism and power source remained shrouded in mystery because all known theories met serious challenges in explaining the immense amount of energy that assassin 15LH has radiated, according to astronomer Sabo Dong said in a statement. So there have to, in other words, what I'm going to tell you something. Science, NASA, and all the major scientists have to tell us something. We're 15 days away from the impact of the second wave of energy. We're about ready to encounter that tremendous wave of energy that ended up creating the 2004 9.1 earthquake, 8.1 earthquake in the Marquis Islands, 9.1 in northern Sumatra and Indonesia, that created a tsunami wave so big that it killed 240,000 people. This wave of energy coming in 15 days, coming on December 26th, 14 days, December 26th, is larger. Okay? That doesn't mean we're going to have a 9.5 earthquake. But what it does mean, we're going to be encountering massive waves of energy that are going to cause a definite change in volcanism. We're going to see a lot more volcanoes, a lot more earthquakes, more powerful, anything that we've ever seen, ever. So scientists know this is coming. They know that there's been, especially on alternative media, that we've been all sharing this with you guys, what's coming. Guys like BP Earthwatch and Mike Around the World and, these other sites, Dutch Sense, a lot of folks trying to explain what's about to come up on the earth. And so the scientists know we're telling everybody, so they've got to come out with an explanation. So today they're going to do it. They said a study based on new data and observations of Assassin 15LH attempts to solve the mystery by reclassifying it as and they're calling it a tidal disruption event, or TDE. That's a scientific way of saying that this powerful gravitational force of a rotating black hole jarred and then pulled at a star that passed too close, stretching it like spaghetti until it ripped to pieces in a series of fantastic explosions. We observed the source for 10 months, they're saying, following the event, and we've concluded that the explanation is unlikely to lie with an extraordinary bright supernova. Instead, according to Weizmann Institute of Science, they said in a news release today, our results indicate that the event was probably caused by a rapidly spinning supermassive black hole as it destroyed a low-mass star. After this doomed star was torn apart by the black hole's extreme tides, or waves, all those ripped up star bits probably collided with each other at high speeds before falling into the black hole. Yes, those tides are similar to the way the moon pulls at our oceans, just incomprehensibly more powerful. All this would have generated crazy amounts of energy and created a flare astronomers are now seeing some 3.8 billion light years away. A typical supermassive black hole doesn't quite explain the luminosity of the explosion, which is why scientists believe it would have to be rapidly spinning black hole, also called Kerr black holes, to do the kind of damage that they're observing. Even with all the collective data, we cannot say with 100% certainty that the Assassin 15LH was a tidal disruptive event, but it is by far the most likely explanation. So they're starting. They've got to tell us something. We've been telling you folks. Mike Around the World's been telling us because he had this inside information for over 4 years that this second wave of energy was coming. And he even said back in the summer, when it gets down to about 2 weeks to go, NASA and different scientists will start to put a spin on what's about to take place. They'll start to break it to us slowly. Of course, we've been talking about this for a long time, and the last few days, after that 6.5 earthquake off the coast of Northern California, the same day 8.0 Solomon Islands, the same day 6.5, and then 6.9 Solomon Islands, the fact that there's continuing to be extreme pressure being applied to tectonic plates, we know the pressure's on, folks. The pressure. We got 14 days before this wave initially arrives, and then it will take 2 years for us to get through this enormous the density of the luminosity is off the charts. It is going to create some catastrophic events over a 2-year period of time. Now, if nothing happens on the 26th, don't just go to sleep and say it was all a hoax. Understand, NASA now NASA and the scientists are starting to tell us that there's been a massive explosion so far out there. They're not telling you it's going to affect you right now, but they're starting to slowly break it to you that large energy waves of energy have been released way out into the far distant of the cosmos, or even calling it a cosmo collision, and they're even using the name assassin, A-S-A-S-S-N, assassin. That's how they spell it, assassin 15LH. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. We are living in the last days, and so you're going to begin to see earthquakes in diverse places, just like Jesus said. Radiation from these waves are going to start to create large droughts. It's going to start frying some of the grass, some of the vegetation. Even some of the trees may start to burn up. There is also incoming brimstone, very small. It's going to create some fires in different parts of the world. It's going to be, these little brimstones are going to be made of nickel and iron. And as they begin to hit, they're going to start creating fire. Also, an ash atmosphere will begin to develop over the next 6 months or so. You're going to start seeing more and more and more. These are the waves of energy. This is the one huge wave of energy that's going to take us 2 years before we get through its density. Just what it does to the earth, I don't know. I just know Jesus is coming. And everything that they say that this wave will create is found in your Bible in the book of Revelation. Are you saved? Give your life to